Hello, good day. Today we go on to the 26th Sunday in Ordinary Time. Why isn't time flying by? As we begin autumn, and let me see, the next couple of days, I'm doing this, Wednesday the 27th. Today it's warm, but after this it should be a little more autumn-like. Our first reading is Ezekiel chapter 18, verses 25 to 28. This selection of Ezekiel sets the stage for this week's lesson. There is a group that thinks that they know better than God, adapting a line from a famous musical. Why can't God think like we do? Adding just another line, we've got it right. Why can't God think like we do? It is so easy to take the position of God and allocate it to ourselves, which is to say, what I think is right and virtuous, and not what God thinks. Or another way to say the same thing, I replace God with myself. Instead of God over me, it is I over me. I am quite capable of running my own life without God. In Matthew chapter 21, 28 to 32, that is exactly what the chief priest and the elders of the people thought, in fact. The second son took on the veneer of holiness and piety, but within himself thought that he knew better than the father, and so he ignored what the father wanted and did whatever he wanted to do. The first son had a mind of his own, had no desire to put up a front of pleasing the father, spoke his own mind, and did as he himself pleased. Realizing the error of his ways, the first son changed his mind, and in fact obeyed the father. Jesus likens the second son to the chief priest and the elders of the people, and the tax collectors, and the prostitutes to the first. Jesus points out that that John the Baptist got them to do the right thing, but the chief priest and the elders of the people refused to follow the ways of John's righteousness. Going over, I have this strong light honing in on me right now. I hope this doesn't alter the video too much. Philippians chapter 2, verse 1 to 11. Paul calls, let me block out that sun to some extent anyhow. Okay. Paul calls on us to have the same attitude that is also in Christ Jesus. That is, he emptied himself, humbled himself, and so should we. Jesus was so submissive to the Father's will that he became obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. He, unlike us, was equal to the Father, but did not regard equality with God something to be grasped, that is, held on to and not let go. He let go of what was his right to hold on to and to take the form of a slave, coming in human likeness, found human in appearance. Since he was truly human, yet still divine, so to accomplish the redemption of humanity. Complete my joy by being of the same mind, with the same love, united in heart, thinking one thing. Do nothing out of selfishness or out of vainglory, it says in that second reading. The chief priest and the elders of the people were so full of themselves that they rejected the way of righteousness of both John and Jesus. That same selfishness is what divides the church community. That attitude that I know better than God, than the church authority, that divides the church, creates divisions, and an atmosphere which does not speak love of one another. The last verse of Sunday's Psalm 25, verses 8 to 9, says, Good and upright is the Lord. Thus he shows sinners the way. He guides the humble to justice and teaches the humble his way. He is the way, the truth, and the life, from another gospel. In Matthew chapter 11, verse 29 and part of 30, Jesus says, "Take my yoke upon you, learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves." Resting in the Lord's humility and obedience leads us to be a humble and obedient people likewise. Let every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father in heaven. Thank you very much.